In terms of overall story structure, I've got limited experience in one way and also very extensive experience in another, because I've only written one novel, but I wrote that novel for, I mean, a long time. It took me 6 years from start to finish. Some of that working at the same time and doing it in evenings and weekends, and at other times doing it full time. It's a really arduous process, and I'm assuming that people who are watching this will be on their first novel, or at least their first looking to publish their first novel. So I would say part of that first novel process is teaching yourself how to write a novel and about plot and how structure works, because it's so mammoth. It's such a huge task. No one has ever written something 100,000 words long until they've written something 100,000 words long, and the tempo and the beats of that are completely different to anything that you've written before. It's not comparable to things like essays or coursework or anything like that, or even a PhD. It's longer and it has a different imaginative impulse behind it. So in terms of structure, this is all a very long-winded way of saying, in terms of structure, I figured out so much towards the very end of that process that I almost ended up writing the novel backwards. Now writing my second novel, which I have actually vaguely planned. But again, it changed, and it's going a lot quicker for having planned it, but it's changed almost unrecognisably since to what I imagined it to be at the beginning. I think that the important thing to do is get something down. Just get something down on paper, get a draft, get 100,000 words of anything. And then there's something there and you can shape it. And things will happen, little sparks and synapses will fire, and you'll suddenly realise that there is this subterranean structure that you hadn't realised was there. I'm not saying don't plan it in advance. do that. But if you let yourself react organically with that plan, you'll find that there's all sorts of connections and amazing things that you hadn't suspected. I would say that don't underestimate the importance of plot, because my worst failing as a writer, I think, is a real comfort in sitting in acres of descriptive, beautiful prose and nothing happening. And that was something I had to really struggle against. So I would say don't underestimate how much character and how much can be told through plot. Instead of telling people by telling them, you can show it them in scenes.